Isn't it crazy how we keep feeding our bodies salt and sugar like they are built to survive on junk? The average American consumes about 17 teaspoons of added sugar daily. That's nearly double the recommended amount. The average American usually intakes about 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day, which is above the 2,300 milligrams recommendation. Eat smart, be aware, read labels. Hi, my name is Whitney, and I want to talk to you about an issue that is important to us today, which is salt and sugar we intake daily. We need more encouraging revision on food labels and warnings. The revision of food labels would help people make better food choices. Better food choices help reduce health problems such as obesity. This is something we all experience, even if it's not us that's obese. Maybe we have a close relative that's obese or have been obese. I believe that salt and sugar is one of the many reasons Americans face health problems, and with revision on food labels, this can be a solution to the problem. Let's begin with some facts. There are effects of eating a lot of salt and or sugar. Salt, also known as sodium, is essential for the body and makes things taste better, but can also be harmful. Some studies link stomach cancer, heart disease, stroke, hypertension, kidney damage, and osteoporosis to the consumption of excess salt and or sugar. Even though sugars taste great, they can be harmful to your body. Knowing the basic background information on the many forms of sugar can be helpful when making your food choices. Sugars are a basic unit of carbohydrates and come in the forms of added sugars and natural sugars. The food labels are often small on the side of the food packages that we don't see at first. You go grocery shopping and you usually grab what grabs the attention of your eyes. And maybe, just maybe, you decide to read the nutritional label. If the food labels were on the front side of the packaging, you will be more cautious and likely to eat certain foods. Excessive salt and sugar leads to weight gain, and weight gain can lead to obesity. So let me tell you a story about Sarah. Sarah was a 35-year-old office worker who enjoys eating a diet high in processed foods, sugary drinks, and fast food. She frequently adds salt to her meals and consumes multiple sugar beverages daily, leading to a high salt and sugar intake. Excessive salt and sugar consuming can have detrimental effects on your health, potentially leading to conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Individuals in this situation might experience weight gain, increased thirst, and frequent urination. Long term consequences could include organ damage and a shortened lifespan. So, with Sarah working often long hours and limited time for healthy meal preparation, she relies on processed foods like chips, cookies, processed meats, sugary drinks, soda, juice, and fast food. She has limited physical activity, mostly sedentary at work and during leisure time. She had no prior health issues, but she did notice that she started to have an increase in weight over the past 2 years despite no significant changes in exercise habits. She had increased thirst and experienced that you can have constant cravings for sugary drinks, feeling thirsty even at consuming large quantities, frequent urination, which would be an increased need to urinate, especially at night. Recent checkup revealed she had high blood pressure, elevated blood pressure, insulin resistant. The blood test indicated higher than normal blood sugar levels, suggesting potential insulin resistance. Changes in the skin, which would be like skin irritations and breakouts, Potential long-term health risks could be heart disease. High sodium intake can contribute to high blood pressure, increasing the risk of heart disease and strokes. With type 2 diabetes, you can have excess sugar intake, which leads to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. With the obesity, there's a high calorie intake from sugary foods and drinks, coupled with a sedentary lifestyle, which can lead to obesity and associated health problems. With the high blood pressure, the chronic high sodium can elevate the blood pressure, putting strain on your cardiovascular system. And with kidney problems, you have an excessive salt intake that can strain the kidneys. So, in conclusion, Sarah's case highlights the potential health consequences of a diet high in salt and sugar. By understanding the impact of these dietary choices, individuals can make informed decisions to improve their health and well being. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and Mayo Clinic, emphasizes the importance of reducing salt and sugar intake to prevent chronic health issues. So, what we can do is learn to read labels and educate yourself on where sodium and sugars are listed, understand their daily value, identify hidden sugars and salts, setting a baseline, start comparing your intake to recommended levels, and start on the reduction phase, which is the week 3 through 6. Gradually cut back the salt and sugars without shocking your taste buds. Reduce packaged foods and fast foods. You then move on to the reinforcement phase, weeks 7 through 9, building new habits and reinforcing label checking. Prep weekly menus like those that are low in salt and sugars. And then you're going to maintain with advocacy. Label challenge family and friends. This encourages and influences others to continue to reassess your intake and adjust your goals. And don't forget to remember to celebrate your progress. Now it's a sugar free year and a half later. I feel healthier, cleaner, and happier. My skin is brighter, my clothes fit better, and I don't get sick as often. Are they related? I don't know, but I'm going to stick with this way of eating because I like the way it feels. And that is a quote by testimonial Amy Siegel. Because when we eat better, we feel better. I believe that salt and sugar is one of the many reasons Americans face health problems. And with a revision on food labels, this can be a solution to the problem. So remember to read the labels to educate yourself on where the sodium and sugars are, set a baseline, start comparing your intake to recommended levels, gradually cut back the salt and sugar without shocking your taste buds, and reinforcement. Remember to build new habits and reinforce label checking, prep weekly menus low in salt and sugars, and to maintain label challenge your family and friends. This encourages not only you but it influences the others. Continue to reassess and intake and adjust your goals and celebrate your progress.